Hello and welcome to the Community Service Learning Orientation. So some topics we will be covering today include what is CSL, some expectations that we have for students, steps that need to be completed to prepare for your placement, some funding opportunities that are available for students, as well as SMU policies and how you should behave in the workplace. Before the orientation, we will be covering some common terminology that we use. So some general terminology, CSL, SL, and service learning all mean community service learning, which is the volunteer opportunity with your community partner. Your community partner is the organization you are doing your placement with. That is non-for-profits, publicly funded institutions, or social enterprises. Your supervisor or your site supervisor is your main point of contact at your community partner. Some forms and checks that you'll need to complete. We'll touch more on this later on, but for now, DocuSign is an online secure form where you will sign your consent form. Your CRC is your criminal record check. Your VSS/VSC is your vulnerable sector search/check. We use both terms, they are the same thing. And then lastly, the child abuse registry search. And then lastly, for logging your hours, you'll be using Career 360. Or C360/Orbis. It's SMU's online career services platform where you'll be tracking your volunteer hours. So what is CSL exactly? Community service learning is what it sounds like, course-based experiential learning, which includes the educational aspect, the actual course the CSL component is attached to, as well as the learning aspect with one of our community partners. CSL courses also include reflection-based components, which we will touch on later in this orientation. What is dual commitment? We understand that as students, you are busy with your studies and any other things that you may have going on. However, as a CSL student, you're also committing to fulfilling your placement, and it is an important part of your course as well. Next, we will cover some expectations that we have for you, the students. So some general student expectations that we have are adhering to policies and procedures that the organization has for volunteers, understanding the need for filling out required forms for participation, clearly and promptly communicating with your community partner and the CSL team, and this goes without saying, but also not reporting under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Maintaining respect and confidentiality is of the utmost importance, as many placements involve children or vulnerable people. You must not reveal names, personal information, and/or identifying descriptions of people. And you must not remove organizational files and/or documents from the organization's office. Furthermore, while it is okay to disagree with how an organization operates, please avoid criticizing or complaining about the organization while speaking with staff, clients, volunteers, and anyone else that may be involved with that organization. If you have any criticisms or complaints, please bring them up with the CSL office, and we will be able to handle it in the proper manner. Communication is key in community service learning. With that, once you're assigned your community partner, connect with your site supervisor within 2 business days. So that's Monday to Friday, excluding any holidays. Please use your SMU email address when doing this, and remember to be polite, professional, and clear with your questions and needs. You don't need to write a 5-paragraph email to your partner when introducing yourself. These supervisors are very busy people that handle many tasks. Being quick and clear with what you need from them is perfect. You must also acknowledge that you've received any emails from the CSL team and from your supervisor. Again, this does not need to be a long email, but as long as you say hi, got it, or sounds good, and a thank you, that is perfect. It is important to note that communication is necessary to have a successful CSL experience. Failure to promptly communicate with either the CSL office or your community partner may result in your removal from the CSL program. Be punctual and dependable. So punctuality and dependability are very important skills in the professional workplace. While some of our placements are close to campus, many others are further out into the other areas of HRM. Please be aware of how long it takes to get to your work location and plan your transportation ahead so that you can show up on time. This is a valuable trait for when you are in professional settings. Companies expect you to show up on time and to be dependable. If you're unable to attend your shift, let your site supervisor know as soon as possible. Of course, we don't want you showing up to your placement while sick, so use your best judgment when it comes to both your personal health and the health of others. We understand that taking feedback, especially criticism from people, is challenging and almost never makes you feel good. However, the feedback that your supervisor will be giving you is for the betterment of you and how you do things with them. It is valuable information, so try to incorporate that feedback into your future work or service. As long as the tone that your supervisor gives you feedback in is a positive tone and in a constructive manner, say they're not trying to belittle you or insult you, then accept it and show enthusiasm and a positive attitude. Prior to starting your placement, we will now cover how you can prepare for your experience. Informed consent is a legal document that informs a person about the potential risks of doing a particular event or activity. Driving under the influence, but also burning yourself in a kitchen, tripping over a bag, or slipping on ice, or even lifting something too heavy are all examples of risk with CSL. Students must sign an informed consent form on DocuSign to participate in CSL, and this must be done prior to starting your placement. This form will be sent to your SMU email address, so please check your SMU inbox as well as your junk or spam folder. If you're under 18, your parent or guardian must sign the consent form. Please contact the CSL office before signing the form so that we can add them to it. We have curated a list that shows which organizations require a criminal record check and a vulnerable sector search. Please look at this list to determine whether or not you will need one for your placement. If you do require a background check, it does cost $30 and it is payable by debit or credit card or cash in person. Please make sure that you save the receipt. If we have funding available, we will refund the cost of your background check. When applying for a vulnerable sector check, you will also be applying for a criminal record check. If you only apply for a criminal record check, you will not be applying for a vulnerable sector check, so please be aware of that when you apply through Halifax Regional Police. You can also apply by HRP's Triton Site, but please note that applicants must currently live in HRM to apply via Triton. While applying, you must apply to the police service of the city/town you are living in. If you're an international student, you must have lived in Canada for at least 6 months to be able to access a criminal record check. You can apply for a criminal record check in Halifax during these times and locations. If you are a new resident to the Halifax area and your ID has your old address on it, you must bring some proof of residence, such as a tenant agreement, a bill in your name with the Halifax address, a credit card statement, etc. When applying, you must also present 2 pieces of identification with your current address. Some accepted identification includes Nova Scotia driver's license or Nova Scotia ID card, and one other of a health card, a birth certificate, a passport, or a social insurance number card. A letter from your organization is required stating the position involves trust or authority with vulnerable persons. Use the letter template on Career 360 or find the link in the description below. The results of your criminal record check and vulnerable sector search will be shared with you, and then you can decide whether you want to share it with the organization requesting the check. Halifax Regional Police will not share the results of your criminal record check without your consent. If fingerprints are required, you will be contacted with instructions to complete the process at police headquarters. If you receive an email that you are required to attend the Halifax police station to verify your identification, you must attend within 15 days of the email being sent. If you fail to do so, your record check application will be canceled, fees will not be reimbursed, and you will have to reapply. If you have any concerns with your application, please contact Triton Customer Service directly at 1-844-874-8667. Here is what your criminal record check will look like when you apply. You'll receive a copy of this once it has been completed. If you're asked to provide a criminal record check / vulnerable sector search, then you must also complete the child abuse registry search. This is a free application and it can be done online with this link. You can find this link below in the description. Please complete this now as it requires a few days to receive. Now, prior to your first meeting, here are some ways you can prepare. Do some research on the community partner you are doing your placement with. This includes what they do, the services they offer, the community that they cater to, and potentially the clients themselves. When coming to your community partner's office, Bring a printed copy of your criminal record check / vulnerable sector search, as well as your child abuse registry search. Now, our CSL photo contest is a great way to earn some SMU swag. Submit your CSL photos to service.learning@smu.ca for a chance to win a $25 SMU bookstore gift card. Permission is required from your site supervisor and/or anyone in the frame prior to taking and submitting a photo. Furthermore, by submitting your photo and testimonial, you consent to them being used for CSL promotional material across various platforms, so please keep that in mind prior to submitting. And here are some keys to taking some good photos for CSL. Take a bunch of photos and at different angles. We do want candid photos and ones in real moments. However, it is still very important that you ask for permission first. Keep the background simple and not distracting, and make sure that there is enough lighting for the photo. If you are indoors, try turning on more lights instead of using flash. Next, let's cover some funding opportunities for students to support you as you are in the CSL program. We understand that there are costs associated with participating in the service learning program, especially since most placements take place off campus. There is funding available through our office, and we will automatically inform you if you qualify for that funding. SMUSA also has an experiential learning fund that students can apply for. If you choose to apply for this funding, we have provided some templates on Brightspace to help with your application as well. So please take a look at that in the Apply for Funding module. Please note that experiential learning funding from SMUSA may be more competitive now due to the students voting to eliminate a student fee to the EL fund. We will now talk about behavior in the workplace and some SMU policies. At St. Mary's, we do have a policy that regulates sexual violence, assault, and harassment. We at St. Mary's are committed to a survivor-centric approach in addressing sexual violence, and with that, sexual violence of any kind will not be tolerated. Please take a look at our sexual violence policy prior to starting your placement. Another thing to look out for during your placement is violence in the workplace. Please take a look at the St. Mary's policy on violence in the workplace. Remember that all members of the university community, including faculty, staff, visitors, and you, the students, are responsible for the creation and maintenance of a safe environment. This policy applies to any behavior that is violent or threatening and is directed at or by a member of our university community in all locations or situations where university business is being conducted. As service learning is part of your course, this policy applies. Always remember that if at any time you're not sure if an activity is safe, ethical, or appropriate, don't try to resolve the issue alone. Stop your work immediately and report your concerns to the community partner and the CSL office, and we will assist you in navigating the situation. In the off chance that an emergency occurs during your placement, call 911 immediately. Once the threat is passed, contact both your site supervisor and the CSL office to report and manage the incident. Again, as this is part of university activities, an injury/incident report form must be completed within 2 business days of the incident or injury. Please contact the CSL office and we will support you with this process. As mentioned earlier, many CSL placements work with children, so be aware of the duty to report. The Children and Family Services Act is designed to protect children from abuse and neglect. The legislation outlining the duty report highlights the legal obligation of every individual to report concerns of abuse or neglect of a child to ensure children are protected from harm. Failure to report is a criminal offense. If a disclosure happens during your CSL experience, report it to your community partner immediately. Do not ask the child any questions or pursue further discussion. Some examples that could happen, an obvious example is if a student discloses this to you, listen, support, and direct it to your supervisor without investigating it further. If you see a child that's underdressed for weather, then share your thoughts to your supervisor without investigating it further. If you see any self-harm, bruises, injury, or abuse/violence, again, share your thoughts with your site supervisor and don't investigate it any further. Again, although most of our placements occur off campus, because this is connected to your course to the CSL program, you are subject to the code of student conduct no matter where the placement occurs. Remember that you, as a CSL student, are representing SMU, your professor, the CSL office, as well as your program. Please review the code of student conduct prior to starting your CSL experience. Next, we will talk about tracking hours and completing your CSL assignment. Most, if not all, CSL courses have an end of placement assignment. Refer to your syllabus for instructions. Please remember that you cannot use the real names of CSL participants. You must use fake names. Also note that the use of artificial intelligence for any CSL assignments is not permitted. Some keys to a good assignment include: go beyond describing what happened. Analyze your experience by identifying significant personal insights or examples from your work in the community, highlighting specific situations, challenges, or observations. Link these relevant academic theories you have studied in class. Clearly explain these connections to your readers so that they can follow your reasoning. Aim for interpretations that show how classroom learning can inform your work in the community and how practical situations can, in turn, deepen your academic understanding. Demonstrate research skills by incorporating independently sourced scholarly literature that is current and relevant to your examples. This adds credibility to your analysis and shows initiative beyond the assigned readings. Organize your writing into a clear introduction, a well-developed body, and a conclusion. Use smooth transitions between sections to make your reflection easy to read and logically coherent. Use precise language, avoid casual expressions, and carefully proofread to eliminate grammatical or spelling errors. Your final reflection should read as a polished piece of academic writing and should not have used any material, again, generated by artificial intelligence. Ensure every source is properly cited and referenced with consistent formatting and no errors. This reflects academic integrity and attention to detail. Next, we will talk about logging your hours on Career 360. To log your hours on Career 360, go to the Career 360 website by looking up Career 360 on Google and then log in through the student's login. You'll then go to the Community Service Learning tab on the left side of the screen and then press View Current Experiences. Once you press View Current Experiences, click on the course that you're currently in and then find the tab that says Track Hours. Once you've clicked the Tracked Hours tab, you will see a screen that asks for the hours that you've logged, the date that you did those hours, and a short little reflection about what you did and the experience that you had. So some challenges you may have and who you should contact in case this happens to you. Contact the Community Service Learning Coordinator if you have any concerns or conflicts with your site supervisor or if you've had a change in supervisor at your placement. If at any time you feel uncomfortable or unsafe at your CSL experience, again, contact the CSL coordinator. If there's an opportunity that you would like to pursue CSL in that is not on the options within your course, if you have a valid reason for not being able to complete your CSL experience, or if you've dropped the course with the CSL component, please let this Community Service Learning Coordinator know. For your community partner/site supervisor, if you have any questions about the organization, its mandate, policies, and/or clients, any questions about the tasks that have been assigned to you, or if you need clarification on something. If you have a valid reason for missing a shift and you need to reschedule your shift to make up the hours, this can include being sick, poor weather conditions, the program being canceled for that day, etc. Finally, if you have any concerns with an academic component in your course, including your grades and any ethical issues, contact your professor. So lastly, some next steps for you. Complete the CSL student agreement as well as the informed consent forms via DocuSign, which will be sent to your SMU email. Complete any organizational requirements prior to starting. That includes your criminal record check, your child abuse registry searches, any orientations, etc. And then finally, if you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to reach out to our office at either our email, service.learning@smu.ca, or by calling us at 902-491-6572. All of the links that we have mentioned in this orientation are below in the description as well. Thank you for listening to our CSL orientation and have a great rest of your day.